draft one right after
732.
Crap. That's just the way that works.
You were definitely about to go down that road. You had to pull yourself back.
Yeah. Timmy and Tyvis here on a Thursday. By the way, we are brought to you by our friends at Care Source here on the Buckeye Show. We do thank them. We're going to go out now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Talk to another member of the 2014 National Championship team, an All-American, Michael Bennett, the defensive tackle. But, Michael, before we do anything at all,
Settle the debate.
I got to know, when you eat eggs, especially with a breakfast sandwich, do you like that yolk a little runny? Do you like a little over-easy egg, or does it got to be hard fried?
Not on a breakfast sandwich. I mean, the accompanying...
I hated this. I hate what the Rockets did. It's terrible, but I love it at the same time. I'm kind of conflicted, but I think I just mostly hate it. Maybe that's my negative side coming out of me, as it tends to in situations like this, but Houston is in a very interesting position, and they're worth bringing up here to start the show, to start this segment, I should say, on the Suns, because all of a sudden you look at them making moves, spending a ton of money in the Western Conference, you're like, oh, is this another team? Is this a team that's going to be like New Orleans, Dallas, Oklahoma City, where they're on the edge of the play-in conversation? We were saying, if the Spurs do something, if Wembanyama's a top 30 player in the league right away, which we have to say out loud because he's an incredible talent, could Houston be joining the ranks? No, Kevin, they're going to be really bad next year. Oh. They're not going to be good. They paid Fred VanVleet, and I like it, because as Suns fans know and people listening, Valley sports fans know, the impact of Ricky Rubio, he is not necessarily on the top four of why the Phoenix Suns are what they are right now, which is they're one of the premier organizations in the sport right now, and they are able to say that because of those four guys, and the reason why they were able to get guys like Eric Gordon, Ida Watanabe, Josh Kogi, and so on to come here on discounts, quite frankly, to be honest, is because of what guys like Chris Paul, Devin Booker, James Jones, and Monty Williams did. But then there's another tier down there. That's where Tsunami Papi is. Still a free agent. Someone pay that man. He's still very good at basketball. I know very good is a big word. Oh, he put up 20 points on the Hornets, Kellen. I don't care. Shut up about him. It's like, no, he can still be a very good basketball player. He didn't fit in Golden State. Charlotte's just a wasteland right now. We don't even get to the reasons why they are. He'll figure it out somewhere, but he's there. And Ricky Rubio is there too, because of what he did for this team and what he taught for them to win, how he taught them to win, how awesome of a teammate he is. And Fred VanVleet, not only for his Ben Taylor rant, which is one of my favorite NBA moments in the last 5 years, when he ranted about how terrible a ref was. We've all had days like that at our jobs, Kevin. And that's the thing. We talk to these people after their day of work is done. And I have days of work where I'm venting at someone on the car ride home. And on the car ride home, Fred VanVleet had a microphone in front of him, and he wanted to tell everyone how bleeping terrible Ben Taylor was, who was an official's name who I did not know until he said it out loud then. He goes there on 4 years, under $30 million. He is a very good player. He's a very good teammate. He's won a championship. He knows what it takes. He's going to teach a lot of the Houston guys how to win. For everything good that he brings in those qualities, you add on Dylan Brooks for 4 for 80. I understand looking at hidden value there and saying, okay, this guy is second team all defense, averaged a lot of points per game. People forget that he's a scorer, was once a better shooter when he got controlled by someone playing 2K whenever he takes his shots now these days. You add in Jock Landale 4 for 32. It's a very misleading contract. I think people can look at that and say, oh, I'd rather have Eubanks for 2 than Landale for 8. Well, Houston right there is just trying to spend more money. They had to get some salary for it, and with someone like Landale specifically, his contract, I believe, is only guaranteed for the first year.
You got to go all the way up River Road and
4 for 32 is what he signed for. So they can look to move him and use him as a bigger contract to help facilitate deals. Jeff Green 1 for 6. That's more in line with the thinking there. But what I hated about what they did, Kevin, was they traded KJ Martin, who's good. Like, he's just good. A good forward, a starting caliber wing. Jumper needs to come. But he's a roller, he's like a screen setter, he's a weak side rim protector. It's a very unique skill set that he brings, and they had to offload him. They had to they got 2 second-round picks, I believe, back for him. And then Ty Washington, who is someone with Phoenix roots, and Usman Garuba, Josh Christopher, former ASU product. All 3 of those guys, Washington and Garuba, former first-round picks. Garuba won the top 20, I believe. They just dealt them for second-round picks again just to create space. From what I read from the Houston side of things, Washington and Garuba didn't really get an opportunity to play that much. And what Houston did, and a lot of teams in their situation improperly do, They stack first-round picks and rebuild. They stack them, they stack them, they stack them. They have 3 or 4 in this draft. And then they just take all of these guys, and then they don't give them enough time to develop, and then they eventually run out of room. And if Houston decides, hey, we want to be good, it's like, well, you're starting Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., and Albert Shea. Your bench is really light. Someone needs to talk about what the Lakers did, and someone needs to talk about what the Clippers did. Who do you want to be in this exercise?
Let me go to the Lakers. Gabe Vincent.
Ooh.
Great run to the finals with the Heat.
We talked about him as a potential MLE target for the
And
Suns.
he actually did not get even overpaid, so
I
thought that was a really good deal for them. And again,
one of the better deals they've signed, I agree.
So they bring back him, they sign him, bring back D'Lo. That's going to be a nice 1-2. Like, maybe D'Lo's overpaid a little bit. I don't really hate D'Lo that much at all, but they have options now. Bring back Austin Reeves. Great move.
Or for 56.
Also a great value, yeah.
I think he's worth at least $20 million a year, but there were dynamics of his contract where the Lakers could only pay him up to 56 over 4 years. I think on the open market as an unrestricted free agent, or in a situation where he clearly wanted to go at least to get more money, I think the Lakers were scared someone was going to give him 4 for 98, and then people were talking about the Lakers still matching that, and they got him for nearly half that. It's a bargain. He's very good.
Another bargain. I don't know why the Timberwolves got rid of Taurean Prince. There must be something to that
They
beyond.
replaced him with Troy Brown. What are they doing?
They basically swapped them then. So 1 year, $4.5 million.
So those exceptions that we were talking about for weeks going into this, the MLE, they used it on Gabe Vincent, and the taxpayer or the biannual, I'm sorry, they used it on Taurean Prince. 2 good moves. Brewy, 3 for 51,
I guess his stock went up when he was on the Lakers. Again, like the Wizards guys, there's a little positive move there when you go to a good team. That's not the Wizards.
Their top 7, Kevin, is really good.
Yeah, and Braun and AD, like at the end of the season, we thought Braun dropped the, what do you say, I'd have to think about next year. Like, wait, what? You might retire or something, bud? I thought you wanted to play with your son, and I don't know if that was like just some calculated, hey, Pelinka, get your stuff together, we gotta do stuff.
There was an ESPN post of the first mock draft for 2024, and it was Bronny going to Atlanta, and LeBron, I believe, either quote tweeted it or like posted on his IG story and was like, looks like we're going to ATL, gang. He's like openly joking, but not really joking about it some more.
Was Bronny going to USC before or after that? I don't even know in this timeline of my life. I don't know.
After that, but I mean, I think D'Lo point guard is more of a wash. I think Vincent is the far better player. I think Gabe Vincent is a gosh darn gamer, like just flat out. I think he's really good. I think the shooting numbers, even if he shoots 34% from 3, I just think he's really good. I think that he is just really established himself, and him at that price is a bargain. Guess what? The Lakers just get to do this. They get to get Austin Reeves for 40% less money than he should have gotten. They get to get Gabe Vincent for 30% less money than they should have had. It just happens to them. It happens all the time. D'Lo 2 for 37 with a player option, meaning he becomes a bigger scale tradable contract if there's some kind of extra wing out there. Like, so they've got Vanderbilt, they've got Taurean Prince, they've got Rui. If they want to add another wing, or if they want to go get another center, perhaps they can attach D'Lo to one more contract and go get that guy. I thought that was smart business, more so than just a basketball move. I'll move on to the LA Clippers. Sneaky good weekend for them. I don't know how you watch that playoff series the Suns played against the Clippers and say that Russ Westbrook is worth $4 million a year, but that's what he got. He was sensational, and I don't care how bad his lows were, not only in that series, but over the regular season. He was legitimately pretty good for the Clippers overall heading into that series. Like we talked about for, I keep saying for weeks, but for that 1 week when you and I are joining shows, we were telling people, take him more seriously. He is still a very good basketball player when everything is coming together, and it did. Defensive highlights that he showed. KJ Martin, we just brought him up earlier. They were the team that got him, and they were a team where Robert Covington, Nick
I don't know.
Marcus Morris,
their knees don't work.
Collectively
don't work.
Love KJ Martin there. I think Nakai's pointed out, and he tweeted it, and I was like, oh yeah, that does make sense. Is he's not sure how much Ty Lue is going to play him, and I think what he means by that, and what I took away from it is like stylistic fit. How much can he be trustworthy for an experienced, really good coach. I'm not really sure, but they need to try and maximize him. They don't play young guys a ton. And then Mason Plumlee was someone Gambo was bringing up as a potential MLE target for the Suns if they were looking to get another center. And he goes 1 for 5. Again, takes a discount there. He could have gotten more money elsewhere. So while the Clippers still have a huge Paul George, Kawhi Leonard problem to figure out, I like the pieces that they retained Russ and Plumlee. I didn't think they were going to be able to do both of those. Yeah. And then they bring in KJ Martin for nothing. 2 second-round picks is absolutely nothing. Is there anything else from the West that really jumped out to you if you're thinking we haven't talked the Warriors yet? Well, we talked Jordan Poole for Chris Paul. They signed Corey Joseph, and their wing rotation, I guess, is going to involve a lot of Jonathan Kuminga.
Since we departed last week, and this is our first show on this whole brand, you know, streaming radio station situation, Kyrie Irving not going to the Phoenix Suns. I don't think he visited with the Phoenix Suns, Kellen.
What?
He's back.
Are you saying their reservation at Stake 44, Ocean 47, whatever that's?
You could have gone in that reserve if you were on open table.
Canceled.
Yeah, you could have popped in there in that open table reservation.
What's that place called, Aaron? What am I missing?
Ocean 44, Stake
Ocean
44.
Stake 44.
Whatever.
Both a thing.
The place Kyrie Irving was not, shockingly. Oh my gosh, I'm so surprised.
I'm just bringing that up because he's back with the Dallas Mavericks, and they didn't really do much. They had
Keep an eye on. We're going to be talking about next segment to close the show. What's going on, Kevin, for the rest of the week? I think Dallas still needs to add a wing, and they're looking right now. I think that they're still trying to figure that out. We'll talk next segment, some loose scraps. I really liked what the Kings did. Even if they could have done something bigger, they still kind of kept it small. I kind of didn't mind the Blazers giving Jeremy Grant 5 for 160. I'll say it out loud because they just retain the guy, and like you lose him for nothing or just bring him back during the rebuild and then trade him in 2 years or a year. Makes sense to me if he reestablishes his value a bit. No one really made ground, Kevin, and that's where we can kind of end the segment and move on, is that no one really took huge strides forward. I think the Lakers were already a very good team coming into this. Remember, they made the Western Conference Finals. They were arguably the second or third best team in the West coming into the postseason anyway. I think that they got better. Did they get much, much better? I just think they got better in the way that the Suns did as well. The Grizzlies are just going to keep starting a 22-year-old as their small forward forever for eternity, I guess. Keep an eye on them in the next week or two, but I'm not really sure beyond that. But
7:44.
July 3rd, Kevin. There's plenty of stuff going on.